Hi there, BookTube. This is Nathan, the rambling reviewer. Um, so called because I tend to ramble a lot. And I am here today to go over some books that I have recently bought and or checked out. And I say recently like it wasn't all today. Yeah, I went out today. I went to a garage sale with my mother, and then we went to a bookstore. Or no, we didn't go to a bookstore. We went to a library. Um, and I went in trying to find some things for some reading events that I'm taking part in next month, and also an event I just heard about right now, today, about 2 hours ago, that I still want to do. Um, and so I was trying to find some stuff to do that. And there was also a ongoing book sale there, book sale they have every day, as well as a monthly book sale where they had books that were 10 cents a piece. And so at all those events, I accumulate books, and I have a lot of books to show you. So I'm gonna jump right into it. So first of all, I went to that garage sale, and I found a couple things here. Um, there we go. They had a little box of books, nothing great, but they were only 50 cents a piece, so I grabbed two. I found The President's Wife, Mary Todd Lincoln. I guess this is a biography of Mary Todd Lincoln. I know nothing about this book. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. I will probably check around about it and see what the consensus is on it. Whether it seems to be a good biography or not. But I grabbed it. I also found The Ruins by Scott Smith, just a mass market paperback copy. I've not read this book, I've not seen the movie, but I love horror, and I've heard this is a good, kind of monstrous horror book about people on vacation in Mexico, and there are, I guess, deadly killer weeds and vines that are trying to kill them. Um, After that, I went. Oh wait, there's one more thing. The man there was kind of a collector. He had like a bunch of records. So like he had only a couple of books, but he had a bunch of action figures, and a bunch of Star Wars figures, and I did kind of look at those for a bit because when I was younger, I owned a lot of. When I'm not as old. I did not. I was not alive during the '70s when Star Wars was starting out, and so I didn't like buy the old vintage stuff. But I did collect Star Wars figures as a kid, and so I was kind of seeing stuff from my childhood over there. And he did have a few stuff. They were a little overpriced, though, so I didn't get anything like that. And he had some records, board games, movies. He also had a bunch of comic books, and I didn't get any of the main comic books, but he had some graphic novels. And I don't have a ton of money to spend right now, so I didn't get a bunch of them, but I did get one. And that is The Greatest Stories Ever Told. This is like a series of graphic novels because they had one for Superman, Batman, Superman team ups, and The Flash. This one was pretty cheap. It was the cheapest, and so I got it. So yeah, The Greatest Stories Ever Told, the Joker edition. Okay, and after that, I did go to the library. Now, the first thing I checked was the 10-cent books. Now, I only found two things that I decided to grab. One of them I'm really excited about, one of them I'm just kind of about. The one I'm really excited about is a Michael McDowell book, Blackwater #5, The Fortune. I've heard that these books are supposed to be really good. And so when I saw it, I've not read Michael McDowell. I've been wanting to read him for a while. I first was turned on to his book, Elementals, or The Elementals by, I was turned on to it by Chapter Stacks. And, so I've been wanting to read him for a long time. And now I own one of his books, so maybe I'll be able to read that before the end of the month. Probably not, but maybe. The other book I got was The Bride of Lammermoor by Sir Walter Scott. I might read this, actually, in Jane Austen July, because usually they have a prompt for Jane Austen July to read a book that is a contemporary of Jane Austen, and Sir Walter Scott would fit for that, so maybe. Um, After that, I went into uh, the larger book sale area, but they have books there every day. And I found a lot of stuff. I put some stuff back, and I ended up getting a. There was something that I've been eyeing for a long time. This is a series that I've not read, but the praises of it have been sung everywhere. Um, and I hear about it from all kinds of channels. I know Mark Richardson has talked about it on Richardson Reads. Steve Donahue has talked about it. I know some other people have talked about it. Those are two I remember, though. And I've eyed it for a while. And today, in a Voxel group I'm part of, Sean D. Standfast said, like, if you see something you want, you have to get it, because it might not be there next time. And it was only $1 for every individual book. It's not complete, but it is the Aubrey and Maturin series, and these really very nice copies. They look brand new to my decidedly untrained eyes. And there were like 11 of these. Got number 3 in the series, HMS Surprise. Now, I do have 2 of these books. I have the first one, Master and Commander, and I have Treason's Handbook. I've got it back over there. Now, I did get another copy of Master and Commander, because the copy I got it from Goodwill a long time ago, is the movie tie-in cover with Russell Crowe. So I like the idea of having it. If I'm gonna get all 10 of the books anyways, I might as well get the last one, and have them all on the same cover, with one exception. One of these is not the same cover, which I guess I might as well show you now, and that is Blue at the Mizzen. This is the I don't know which number this is in the books. It has the series, but they're not numbered, and I don't really want to waste your time counting them out, so. But Blue at the Mizzen. Whichever one that is. And we've got number 9 in the series, Treason's Harbor. I said Treason's Handbook, it's Treason Harbor, so I have 2 copies of this now, so I'll probably keep this one because the other one doesn't look as good. That is number 9 in the series. The Ionian Mission, number 8. The Surgeon's Mate, number 7. I wonder if they just had, if it was all the first 11. The Fortune of War, number 6. The Mortius Command, number 4. The Wine Dark Sea, number 16. Okay, it's not the first 11. And also, is this the same? Same company, so I don't know if they just updated the cover, or if they do have this exact same cover somewhere for this book. But that is number 16, and that is the Wine Dark Sea. I'm stacking them in order. And then the last 3, The Letter of Marquis, and that is Number 12. The Reverse of the Medal, number 11. The Far Side of the World, number 10. And that is everything. So I have the first book, the third book, the fourth book, then 6 to 12. I think, yeah. I don't know which book Blue at the Mizzen is, and then I also have the 16th book. So I have about half the series. So I thought that was a pretty cool find. I'll show you all of them together. Then, I also got, in our Voxer group, one of the, other bits of advice I heard, this time from Steve Donahue, was that if you find, old, mass market, fantasy and science fiction, always buy it. Now, he said classic. I don't know. This wouldn't be classic. This would be too late for it to be classic, but it is older, so I still read it. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. I've never heard of it. It's called The City of Gold and Lead, the Tripods Trilogy by John Christopher. So this is an entire trilogy of books, but it is very small. It's only, Oh, wait, no. The City of Gold and Lead is one of the books in the Tripods trilogy. Okay. Okay, and apparently it's YA? I don't know if that means something else or if that is, in fact, a YA book. I don't know. I've never heard of this, so. I do like that cover, though, with the protective dome in the background and the War of the Worlds style tripod walking over the landscape. That's a pretty cover. It's really cool. So, for all you sci-fi geeks out there, if you've read this, let me know if it's any good or if I just picked up something that's completely worthless. Now finally, I also, one more thing, sorry. This I found at the very end. Iris Cheng, The Chinese in America, A Narrative History. Iris Cheng wrote a book, The Rape of Nanking, which I read many years ago, and that I don't want to say I enjoyed it or that I liked it, because it's a tragic, awful, horrible book that discusses the Rape of Nanking, this horrific atrocity that occurred during World War II, where Japan was invading all of the countries in East Asia and Southeast Asia and the South Pacific and Australia, and committing some horrific atrocities, particularly against the Chinese. And they attacked the former capital of China, Nanking, and much of the army had abandoned the city, and those who were still there surrendered, and they massacred the soldiers, they massacred the civilians, they held contests to see how many people could be killed, decapitated babies thrown in the air and speared, women were raped, mutilated. It was a horrific, awful event, and doubly tragic, the book, because the writer ended up taking, I believe, her own life. I think there's actually a biography out there about Iris Cheng. The mental toll the research of that book took on her particularly. And I thought it there, and I liked that book. But I've been wanting to read more of it, but I haven't yet, and so found this there, so I grabbed it. And since Nonfiction November is right around the corner, I very well may read this. I don't remember all the prompts. Secret, border. It's the only two I can remember off the top of my head. But I might go ahead and check and see if this would fit with any of the prompts, because I would love to read this. Now, after that, I did check out a few books. The event that I had referenced earlier that I heard about just today, Books of Blood. I heard about this event because of Greg over at another Bibliophile Reads. It is A to Z reading challenge where Books of Blood takes a prompt for the letters of the alphabet. Not every letter in the alphabet is made of Z. I think he does like half of them, I think. He does do A and Z though. And he correlates those letters to a subgenre in horror. And the goal was to try to read a horror story, whether long or short, before the end of the month in each of those genres. Now, I am very excited about that. I obviously do not have the time to read 13 more books in October. I'm not Steve Donahue. So I will be reading short stories. I also added onto the list my own ideas for. When I heard the 26 idea, I was like, oh, I want to read 26 short stories. I want to see if I can do that. So after I watched the video and realized that that's not the challenge. You're not reading 26. You're reading like 13 or 14. I after noting them down, added the extra letters, and I tried to figure out, hey, what would be a good, I guess, scavenger hunt thing to find a story that has that letter prompt. So, like, for instance, for I, which was a letter he skipped, I thought about it, I was like, I'll do insects, because so much of horror has insects in it. Insects. Not incest, although a lot of horror does have incest also. Like V.C. Andrews. But the like giant insects or just bugs going around. So I had that kind of like a little scavenger hunt mentality now, and so I went to the library and I grabbed a whole bunch of horror anthologies. I got the year's best dark fantasy and horror 2010. This is the only one I got in this series. And there's a lot of stuff in here. Ramsey Campbell. There's less authors that I am aware of than I would have thought. Kelly Armstrong, John Langan, Stephen Graham Jones, Caitlin R. Kernan. That's all everybody who I recognize. But there's also a lot of authors who I don't recognize, and so that will be cool. See if I can notch off some of those stories in the challenge. I also got the best horror of the year for the volume 7, which is 2015, and volume 4, which I guess would be 2012. Yeah, 2012. Stephen King, Laird Barron, John Langan, Peter Straub. That's in volume 4. And volume 7 has. That's not everybody. I'm just mentioning the authors who I recognize. Stephen Graham Jones again, Caitlin R. Kernan again, Laird Barron again, Brian Evenson, and John Langan again. And then I also got 2 kind of more general anthologies. I found the Big Book of Ghost Stories. This was edited with an introduction by Otto Pinsler. And this actually reminds me a lot of the Jeff Vandermeer and Jeff and Ann Vandermeer anthologies that I love so much. And we have stories by Ambrose Bierce, Kitty O'Hearn, Rudyard Kipling, Mark Twain, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Isaac Asimov, Oscar Wilde, August Deleuze, Fritz Leiber, Washington Irving, Joyce Carol Oates, M.R. James, Edith Wharton, Willa Cather, H.P. Lovecraft, Saki, Algernon Blackwood, August Deleuze again. That's all the ones I recognize. And then another ghost anthology. This is Echoes, edited by Ellen Datlow. It's a Psychic anthology of ghost stories. And this one has stories, again, people who I recognize, by Paul Tremblay, Pat Cadigan, Joyce Carol Oates, Stephen Graham Jones, Brian Evenson, and again, John Langan. And I love ghost stories. I love the kind of melancholic horror that a ghost story can evoke, compared to like something like, I don't know, a werewolf story, which I mean could do that, but it's not as ingrained into the idea, the horror and the loneliness and the depression that is death. And the final book I want to show is for another event that is starting in November, same time as New Worlds November, which I hope, if you are not thinking about taking part of that, that you will. Which I think everybody here is taking part in New Worlds November, especially since most of the people who are subscribed are people who only know this channel because of New Worlds November. But the other event is being done by one of the co-hosts for New Worlds November, Brandy, at the Booklectic, and that event is Howl for the Holiday. Goal being to read at least 2 stories, short or long, of Hal Clement, a sci-fi author from I believe the 40s and 50s. To read 2 stories by him each month in the months of November, December, and I think January. It might be February too, but I'll have to double check about that. And so after I'd gotten all the books I bought, and also all these horror anthologies, I then decided to check to see if there was anything Hal Clement there. And the pickings were slim. There was only one book, which is Noise by Hal Clement. I have not read this. I have not read any Hal Clement, so this is the first, and I will be reading this in November along with, I'll probably try to find a anthology of his works so that I can read more of him. I don't believe he's in any of the sci-fi, science fiction, SF. I'm gonna make people mad if I keep saying sci-fi. I don't believe he's in any of the anthologies that I already own. But so, and in booktube tradition, I need to show you everything at once, which I actually don't think is possible, but I will attempt it. I don't know, some of the stuff is facing the wrong direction. 2 of the books at the bottom are facing the wrong direction, but I'm not going to switch it back for you. Okay, this is a big stack of books. Okay, hey, ooh. Okay, yeah, never mind. If I try to hoist up any more so you can see the books at the bottom, I will drop it, and it will fall, and it will make a loud noise, and I will scare the cats. And that's rude. You know what else is rude? The fact that I've kept you here this long, talking about books. Don't you all have, like, lives? You know, you gotta get out of here, go read, go spend time with your families. I mean, it's a beautiful Saturday. This is beautiful over here. I don't know how it is wherever you are, but I hope you're having a great day, and thank you for spending this time looking at books with me. Bye.